Hi, I'm Terri Savelle. Thank you so much for watching. Did you know that 95% of those who lose weight will regain their weight? I hate to say that. Did you also know that 30% of those who set New Year's goals for themselves quit the first week? Or have you ever heard that 80% of those who win the lottery file bankruptcy within 5 years? They have millions of dollars and they're filing for bankruptcy within 5 years' time. Why is that? All of those are because of habits. You know, the thing that separates successful people from unsuccessful people are habits. So I want to talk to you today about developing habits in just 20 minutes. It can change your whole life. You know, they say that our subconscious activities represent 40% of our daily lives. So 40%, just subconsciously, you're doing things without even thinking about it. Success Magazine said that means 2 out of every 5 minutes all day and every day we operate on autopilot. Isn't that amazing? Now think about it. Good habits, though, they're hard to form but easy to live with. Bad habits are easy to form, but hard to live with. You know, years ago, the thing that changed my life was when I heard John Maxwell say that if you want to see change in your life, change something you do daily. That's what changes you. That's what puts you on a course for change in your life is when you do it every day. So, you know, I'm so convinced that the secret of your future is hidden in your daily routine. I even have a magazine called The Routine because when I changed my routine, when I started making changes in something I'm doing every day, that's what put me on the road to success. Well, you know, I began to realize things like it's not one 3-hour workout that's going to get my body in shape. It's every day, go for a walk for 20 minutes. That's what gets your body in shape. It's not, you know, one day spending 6 hours on my knees praying for things to change. No, it's every day being mindful that God's with me all the time. He's here when I'm driving. He's here while I'm at work. Just being conscious of Him every day. Or, you know, it's not depositing one paycheck in my savings account that sets me up financially. No, it's a portion of every paycheck going into the savings account that sets you up for success. So if you want to see change in your life, change something you do daily. Well, you know, I thought this was interesting that psychologists say 90% of the way we do things is based on just doing it automatically, like almost like on autopilot. That 90%, so from the moment you wake up until you go to bed, 90% of it is habitual behavior. Now, what they mean by that is that there's hundreds of things we do every day and we do it the same way. From the moment you get up, the way you brush your teeth. In fact, my husband says when I brush my teeth, I always tap it a few times before I put the brush away. The way you comb your hair, the way, you know, ladies, you might with mascara. I've heard people say, I have no idea why I always start with the right eye and my mouth is always open. Then I move to the left eye. The same things day after day that we do habitually. It might be, you know, the way you, before you run out the door, you grab your vitamins and you take the vitamins. Or the way you pour coffee, the way you make it every morning. I know for years, my husband, when we first got married, he got into this little habit of he would go through McDonald's every morning and get a little cup of coffee for 52 cents. And he got into this habit, but while he's getting dressed, he'd always grab 52 cents off his dresser, put it in his pocket, and run out the door. Well, he did that every single morning. Now, every single morning, he makes a protein shake. The same shake, same ingredients, and then goes off to the gym. Well, those are just based on, you know, habitual behavior, forming good habits, doing the same things day in and day out. The way you drive to work, you know, everything about your day-to-day life. Well, bad habits are formed the same way. You know, things like waking up late. Have you ever known someone who not only do they wake up late all the time, but they show up late all the time? You know, I even have certain family members that people will say, don't worry about them, they'll be late. They expect them to be late. Why? Because habitually they show up late. Or, you know, gossiping. You ever been around someone, every time you're around them, they're gossiping, they're talking about people. Those are just bad habits that have been formed. Even things like, I know some people who say every time they watch TV, they have a bag of chips. Then it got to where they can't watch TV without just sitting there eating a bag of chips. Or, you know, not returning phone calls. That's one that I'm working on right now. I promise I'm working on it. My voicemail says, hey, it's Terri, leave me a message and I'll play it. So I'm not promising to return the call. But those are bad habits, right, that have to be changed. Well, good habits are formed over time. Bad habits are formed over time also. So, like I said before, you have to, it's not just the 1 3-hour workout, it's doing it consistently every day. That's how you start on the path of making good habits. In fact, Aristotle said, he said, excellence, we are what we repeatedly do. He said, excellence then is not an act, it's a habit. We are what we repeatedly do. So what I want to tell you is that successful people have successful habits. And one of the habits that they have is investing in themselves because they know it's going to produce results. So if you want to start good habits in your life, start with investing in yourself. So I'm going to give you a little trick that I think works because I've done it in my own life. This is what I want to suggest. Number 1, you have to make a decision to start. Why? Because you're worth it. This is going to be the greatest year of your life. You have to make that decision to start. Number 2, choose one habit that's going to help you the most. Just start with one. Don't get overwhelmed with everything, okay, now I got to start saving money. I got to start working out. I got to start reading. Got to start, start with one. It's like W. Clement Stone. He said to Jack Canfield, now Stone was a multi-millionaire. Jack Canfield was just learning about success. And he said, Jack, how many hours of TV do you watch every day? Jack said, I don't know, probably 3 hours. He said, I want you to cut out 1 hour. He said, well, what do you want me to do? He said, I want you to read. Read in the area that's going to help you the most. Read psychology, read marketing, read sales, read success. And then he said, if you give me 1 hour a day times 365 hours in a year, that's 365 hours of additional time, or 365 days. He said, divide 365 hours by a 40-hour work week. That's 9.5 weeks of additional time. To do what? To grow, to invest in yourself. So he began doing that, and Jack Canfield became a New York Times bestselling author, even in the Guinness Book of World Records for so many #1 books. But choose one that's going to help you the most. Let me give you some hints. The wealthiest people in the world, 88% of them said they read something every day. 2% of the poor people in the world said they read. Listen to this. 63% of the richest people in the world said they listen to audio teaching every day. 5% of the poor. Or where exercise is concerned, 76% of the wealthiest people exercise at least 4 days a week. 23% of the poor. Those are just a few hints of at least one new habit that you could adapt or say, I'm going to do this. Next is get a calendar. Get a calendar that you can actually physically mark through to see your progress. Track your progress. Number 4, do it for 21 days. Psychologists say if you can do something consistently for 21 days, you can break an old habit and start a new one. Well, when you see your progress and you're marking through those days, it compels you to not skip a day. And then number 5, set the timer for 20 minutes. I'm not even telling you to do what Stone said, take an hour. I'm saying 20 minutes is a good place to start. You might say 20 minutes won't help me. Well, 20 minutes over a course of a month is 10 hours of starting a good habit. I'm convinced you'll stick with it too. In fact, listen to this. I just got this on Instagram today. This sweet lady said, I'm riding my exercise bike right now. She said, it's a habit I started last June because of you and watching your weekly videos. She said, don't think of the 1 hour you don't have. Think of the 20 minutes you do have. Because of that, I've lost 30 pounds. Isn't that awesome? Now, I'm telling you, this is something you can do. Now, let me close out with this quote from Jack Canfield. He said, the habits you form from this day forward will ultimately determine how your future unfolds. How is your future going to unfold? It's based on your habits. So set the timer and get started. Now, if you're enjoying these podcasts, please subscribe to this channel. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, so I can keep you motivated to achieve your dreams. Thanks for watching. The next 5 years of your life could be the most rewarding, most productive, most amazing years of your life.